This is what you would see if it wasn't for the hard-working volunteers at Channel 10. But thanks to their great effort, this is what you get.
Welcome once again to Capital Times. This is probably, well, it is our last show until after the holiday season, so ho, 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 Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's and all the rest of that good stuff. We have two guests for you in the studio today, and we're not necessarily talking about the Capitol Theatre this time, but something that we feel is really worthwhile that you should know about and probably participate in. With me, first of all, is Louise Warthe, who is one of the coordinators for a bash that's happening called First Light. Hi, Louise.
Hi, Karen.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
For those who have never heard of or participated in First Light before, maybe you could tell us, first of all, just the details on what it's all about and where it takes place.
Well, this is Nelson's second annual First Light. First Light has generally been associated in various cities across North America as being the New Year's Eve event that does not contain the element of alcohol or drugs. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we're doing it. It's
okay, now I didn't know that. This is something that's prevalent in the province or the country?
Across North America.
That's great.
Yeah, a lot of the major centers now have a First Light celebration.
Mm-hmm. And what inspired it to start here in Nelson?
Well, we're co-sponsoring this. This is a co-sponsorship between CASA, mm-hmm. which is the Community Action on Substance Abuse, mm-hmm. and Theatre Energy. Mm-hmm. And as a spokesperson for Theatre Energy, I know that for us, we have been involved for the last 8 years in doing productions, a production called Calling the Play, mm-hmm. which was on drug and alcohol abuse. And so it's dear to our hearts. We also just finished one called For Adults Only, which was along the same lines.
So basically what you're saying is you don't have to be high on drugs or booze to have a good time.
Great, that's it, mm-hmm. that's it.
And last year was the first time that you've had the First Light celebration. I would call it a celebration.
Absolutely. Yes. Extravaganza.
Okay.
Extravaganza.
And how did it go? Did people come?
It was very successful. Good. Yes. Good. People enjoyed it. There was lots to do, mm-hmm. as there will be once again this year.
Okay. So this isn't, first of all, whereabouts are we having this? Where does it take place?
This is at the Nelson Civic Centre.
Okay, so right. It's in a big place. You can.
That's right. The arena, the skating rink. There will be skating once again this year.
Oh, neat.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And there will be a dance as well, uh-huh. and that'll be in the badminton hall area.
Okay, so is it all happening all at once? Like the skating, dancing?
The event starts at 7 o'clock in the evening. Mm-hmm. Now the featured band will not be starting until 9:30, and skating will go until 10, but that will be the only overlap. Other uh-huh. than that, there will be a lot of little events, activities happening from 7 until 10.
What kind of events?
Well, we have
my interest is piqued.
Some mysteries, but some of them, yes. We have Len Hebert again, uh-huh. who will just delight old and young alike with his magical fingers on the balloons.
Oh yeah.
I remember as a child the first time I saw someone create animals out of balloons, and it just fascinated me. So I'm really looking forward to dropping around and seeing him. Uh-huh. Naomi Lewis will be doing some hand-painted portraits for free.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Caricatures?
Well, I don't know. I suppose if you asked for one, I'm not sure if that's your forte or not.
Prime candidate here.
Juniper Tree will once again be doing some activities for the children. They've got puppets. There's another group, West Kootenay Family Child Care Services, I believe. I didn't write that one down, so I don't have that complete. But they will be helping us out of recycled materials to create our own hat.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
As well as doing face painting, and that's always a big hit for young and old alike.
And all the smaller events are taking place at the same time. It's a continuous thing.
You can walk around, choose what you want to focus on, or wander around. We hope to be having a few wandering minstrels.
Oh, yeah.
As yet unnamed. Yes.
But no doubt recognizable.
I suspect.
Yes.
Yes. There will be line dancing and circle dancing.
Oh, neat. That's great.
And of course there will be lots of food. Various concessions from service clubs around the city will be participating, and that will be a little fundraiser for them.
So you're involving then some of the service clubs or the church clubs, any people like that?
Well, CASA is taking care of the other activities, and so I'm not entirely sure who is doing the concessions and how they're bringing in people.
Needless to say, though, there'll be tons of food.
There will be lots of food. Yes, you can't run out of food.
Now, I'm getting the sense that this might be quite a delightful thing to bring your family, your children to.
Absolutely. You don't need a babysitter. You don't need a designated driver. Just come on out, bring the family, and participate together in celebrating the coming of the new year.
Yes. Will we have the big sing-along, everyone together, the Old Lang Syne?
Oh, you bet.
Yes.
You bet. And balloons and so on.
That sounds good. It sounds really good.
The dance at 9:30 will be with Vancouver's band, Second Nature.
Don't know them. Can you tell us a little bit about their music?
Well, now they've got quite a list. So I've reduced it to rock, reggae, and funk.
All right.
Right.
All right.
So they're quite a popular band in Vancouver, as here. They have been here before. I believe they were only here October last. So they're quite popular. I love their motto. Their motto has to do with creating energy without the wall of sound. And as anyone over 40, well, there may be a few people over 40 out there yet who love the wall of sound. But
I'll go on.
That few. So yeah.
So we can hear what they're singing is what.
That's right. We'll be able to hear the lyrics.
Some pure voices happening there.
Right.
Good.
So it's a 6-piece band.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And I'm really excited to hearing them myself.
Sounds like fun. So we can kick up our heels and dance, dance, dance. How long will it go on till in the evening?
2 a.m.
Oh boy.
For those diehards who hang in there, you know, boogie till you drop.
With all the carrying on that's been happening over the past few months with our young people in our societies and the surrounding villages and towns, will you be encouraging young people to come and participate in this rather than hang around the streets or partake in any kind of illegal abuse, substance abuse, if you know what I mean?
Well, it's certainly an alternative for them. I don't know that we can actually encourage them other than to entice them.
That's what I'm saying. Will they have fun?
We'll entice them.
Yeah.
You bet they'll have fun.
So
they are a popular band with the younger set because they have come and done quite a few dances which were alcohol-free.
Yes.
Alcohol and drug-free. So the young people know them.
It's not just for families and diehard abstainers. This is for fun and it's for kids too.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So teenagers, if you don't have anywhere to go on New Year's Eve, this is a definite viable alternative for them.
You bet.
That's good. That's really good news.
Yes.
Because usually there just isn't anything for that section of our community to do anything.
Right.
They, other than be bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so how many people are you expecting?
Well, we hope to have 400.
All right.
Yes, I believe the badminton hall holds in the area of 400, maybe slightly more.
Do people feel free to come and if they have anything interesting that they like to do, like can people participate? If you've picked my imagination with the balloon guy, and I know there's a lot of people in our community that can do that kind of thing. Can they just come and do that?
Well, I don't know. You know, I think a good thing, if there are people like that in the community, would be for them to contact CASA.
Encourage them to talk to someone about it.
Sure.
Good.
And offer their services. They could contact Barb Dante at 352-2911. She would be a good contact person. And we'd love to have other people participating.
Can you hold up the poster for us so that people can recognize it if they're out and about in town? Which camera's got this one here? And there we go.
So much for the red light theory.
And again, it starts at 7.
It starts at 7.
And the admission price, please, for...
We have a varied admission price. We have $10 for adults, $7 for seniors and students, $5 for the 6 to 12 age category. Under 6 is free.
This is great.
And there are special family prices for low-income families.
Okay.
And how they would obtain their tickets would be to contact either Nelson Community Services, if they're here in Nelson, or in Castlegar, the Castlegar Community Services.
Okay,
So
jot
they
that
can-
one down, yeah.
Yeah, I do have telephone numbers if
Yes,
you'd like me
please.
to
Yep.
just read them over the air.
It's always valuable, yeah.
The Nelson Community Services phone number is 352-3504, and in Castlegar the number is 365-2104.
And they can also obtain any information that we perhaps missed or whatever. But basically, what it says on your poster, no booze boogie.
That's right.
I like it. Can we just give perhaps one little tiny warning to people who don't get it insofar as no booze? Like, don't bring it, don't
Don't bring it in your cars, don't hang around outside with it because the police will be patrolling the area.
Okay. That's needed. Sorry, a little bit of a damper there for you, but it sounds like it's going to be a really good bash.
It will be a great time.
And I'm delighted
Something
to hear
for
that it's
everyone.
happening. That's just wonderful. Okay, so people, no booze boogie at the Civic Centre, and that's New Year's Eve. Louise, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Karen.
Delightful. And we'll be right back after this message. We are back. I'm Karen Agnew, and you're watching Capital Times, a sort of a Christmassy Capital Times. Yeah, that's it. And my second guest is Bruce Hunter, who I'm sure most of you will recognize from either being on the show before or his many involvements in the community. And Bruce is the official spokesperson for the Kootenay School of Arts, which is fairly new. And we figured that you'd like to know a little bit more about what's going on with them. So welcome, Bruce, to the show.
Thank you, Karen.
And first of all, I'd like to start out by asking you the basics. Where and why the school has originated? Out of necessity, or?
Yes. It's new, but it's also a resuscitation of the former Kootenay School of Arts,
Okay.
which was started in the 60s. Started independently, became part of Selkirk on the Rosemont campus, and then in the late 70s, early 80s, became part of DTUC, was the core of
Yes.
David Thompson University Centre at the other end of town, on the site of the old Notre Dame University. And it was a wonderful little Camelot, which operated beautifully. It was a meeting of all the arts. The writers were working with the theater people, and the music people were working with the theater people. All the arts were coming together. It was a very special place. Closed down in 1984.
Why? Can I ask you? That's something I've been wondering.
Well, George Orwell
Since I
might be able
got
to
here.
answer that question.
Yeah.
It was a politically...
Just one of those things.
Yeah. One of the reasons was that the per capita cost of students was significantly higher than in a more urban university. There were
I
fewer
see.
students. The delivery of services is pretty well a constant. And if you take the number of students receiving those services and divide by what the services cost, you're going to get a very high per pupil cost, and therefore you're going to be able to say, that costs too much.
Yep.
And that was one reason, and there are many others.
I'm sure.
And
Just
unless this
curious,
is
though.
a 5-hour show, let's not get
Yeah.
into it.
No, I've just seen so much about DTUC and always kind of wondered, well, what happened? But
Well, it was closed.
Okay.
Now, since then, it's lain fallow. But the arts community, as you know, has been very ripe, and it's been very active, and it hasn't. It's felt almost lobotomized because this manifestation of a very strong arts community was not there, and so we don't really feel we've started it again. We pretty well jumped in front of a populist wellspring of opinion anyway.
Yes.
And this was a committee that was started by the David Thompson Support Society.
Okay.
As a result of 2 think tanks. So this committee was struck in early December, and we've been meeting weekly ever since. WEEKLY, and we have consequently resuscitated the art school. And
yes.
Instead of the Kootenay School of Art, now it is pluralized to take to take all the arts.
So your committee members then must be, certainly very, very interested in the arts and very concerned about keeping it alive. Is this?
Sure. They are artists. Most of them are artists in themselves.
Yes.
And had a pretty specific idea of what they thought a good art school was. And that didn't mean one that was academically oriented necessarily. Now, DTUC, for better or worse, was trying to articulate with UVic. That was its sort of legitimization, as well as being, connected with Selkirk. After all, it was a campus of Selkirk, at least before it became DTUC. But it was initially administered by Selkirk. So I want to say this: that when we lost DTUC, so did Selkirk.
Yes. So this is a way of continuing that element in our society here. And the courses that are being offered now, it's quite minimal now with the hope of expansion, yes?
Exactly.
Okay.
We lack in quantity, but the quality's top notch, as discussions with our students will attest. This second brochure, which shows the offerings for January.
Yeah, look for that when you're out there.
2 courses which were not offered until recently are actually continuations of the first semester's courses.
Oh, yes?
Judith McKenzie's course and Tom Wayman's course. Judith McKenzie's textile course was so popular. They loved her so much, she loved them so much that she not only took them on to the next course, but continued the first course, the starting course. Tom Wayman, same thing.
Well, I mean, how positive can you get? That's definitely an answer.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
And
well,
they're not doing it for money, although they get paid. They're not
honorariums. So
we pay out of our tuition because there's nothing else right at the moment.
At the moment, yeah. Let's tell them a little bit about some of the courses then that are offered at this moment. This is post-Christmas holiday season here, so we're going into January and February, and Bruce, maybe you can...
Yes, Japanese woodblock printmaking is starting. Richard Taylor is teaching this. This is a short course, 24 hours intensively, sort of total immersion. And Tom Wayman is continuing his Oh Say Can You See, or Oh See Can You Say course.
What is it? Come on.
Well, let's try to get inside Tom's head, and if you can do that, you've really done something wonderful. Oh, see, can you say? I suppose. Well, first of all, it's the pun on
yes.
the American national anthem, I suppose, and there are all sorts of little interpretations you can make there. But he's a very visual person, and I think he works basically through the verbal representation of visual things. Because if you can't, if you're going to write real stuff, then it has to be a projection of real stuff.
That's great.
I'm not trying to talk for Tom. He'd say, yes, okay, you've done a pretty good job, but here's what I really do. Introduction to textiles, Judith McKenzie, internationally known. She does workshops internationally, and the students very quickly find out that they've got a top quality teacher. Any one of these people, incidentally, we would be proud to have as faculty if we were $1 million school. I mean, if we were opening tomorrow, these are the first people we would ask. So
yes.
We may have cut corners on where we're offering the courses, like in an old brewery in the Student Union building.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, but where you take the course is only incidental to the quality of the course itself. As a matter of fact, many of us remember, being taught in old World War II huts, and when our great faculty of music or whatever it was got built, somehow the pioneering spirit went out of it, and that you know, the essence seemed to be gone. So let's hope it doesn't happen with us once we get our multi-million-dollar facility.
It won't.
No.
It won't.
And Michael Graham is doing mask, movement, and theatre.
Oh, good. He's good at that. Yeah.
Yes. Again, that's a 24-hour workshop, 2 consecutive weekends, and he's doing movement, vocalization, the mask making. So it's you know, it's sort of the meeting of the arts.
So you're touching then a little bit on the performing arts. It's not written and
That's right. Well,
artists, yeah.
yeah, the spectrum is enlarging. For example, enlarging photography. Jeremy Addington, Mark Dupuy, and Fred Rosenberg are doing the photography course, and Diana Hartog is doing poetry. So you know, we are spreading out. One of these days, we might even do something in music, which would be you know, something after my own heart. But that's why we call it the Kootenay School of the Arts, because we want it to be an umbrella which encompasses the entire spectrum of the arts.
What is the goal? Is the goal to have a permanent home, to have people coming from all over the world?
Yes, yes, to have people coming from all over the world to stay and work here in a studio setting. We want
you couldn't ask for a better environment.
Exactly, and we want the courses to be studio generated.
Yes.
We don't want them to turn into book learning courses where we articulate with the university, which demands you know, certain that we fulfill certain expectations, and which is all right. But there are many of those places, and there aren't too many of the places that working professional artists want to study at, to either upgrade what they're doing,
yes,
or to get really good at what they do. And they, you know, of course they have to be able to take the odd English course to be able to articulate, you know, in a brochure what they do and so forth, because we want to be able to teach them how to be a functioning professional in the field, but we don't want them to get very far away from the art either, and that's why we think we have something unique, and we want to retain it, and one way of retaining that is retaining autonomy, and we're really picky about this because we've learned the hard way that if we go for the money and give up the right to make the basic decisions, then we are at the mercy of other people who might want to close us down for all the wrong reasons.
That's right.
So if we're going to close down, we want to do it ourselves next time.
That's a really clever perception. that's great.
Thank you. You read the script just the way I wrote it.
That's great. But now, are they credit courses? Can people go on with what they've received here? Or?
Yes, they will get retroactive credit once we get our act together in terms of just what the course offerings are. Certainly, what we do is of high quality and therefore can act as sort of a portfolio credit. We're not thinking in terms of articulation with any other institution. Otherwise, we have to, you know, jump through a lot of hoops that we're not ready to jump through yet, and frankly, couldn't afford to.
So, so far as having really good quality instructors, that's totally to advantage to people who are upgrading their skills in this area, and to have workshopped or worked with these people. That's
our 50
invaluable.
Our 50 students, many of our 50 students are professionals themselves.
Yes.
And so they look upon what they're doing as Pro-D.
All right.
And so they didn't lightly sign up for these courses. Well, you know, if you're a professional artist, you don't lightly come up with $125.
That's right.
Unless it means something really important to you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it sounds really good. So your instructors aren't just coming from our area; they're coming from all over too.
Actually, they are coming from our area because they are people who taught at DTUC.
Oh, okay.
They are also among the new breed who are moving to Nelson first and then making work. And well, we're getting an influx of talent that we couldn't have even hoped for. Now,
harness it.
And these people aren't necessarily from this group, but we're starting to see now people in the larger urban areas like Vancouver finally getting the message that they can sell their house, buy one here, live off the interest on the remainder, and then do what they want with their own time.
Sounds totally inviting me. Well, they can't see this in Ontario, can they?
Oh, shall I not send that tape back there?
I'll send it home, that's right.
Right.
Okay, so if people would like to find out more information insofar as details of courses and how much and where they can sign up and that sort of thing, how would they go about that?
They would go to the third floor of City Hall, where our staff of 5 people are in our office and willing to serve and to impress you with our professionalism until our grant runs out on the 17th of January.
I like it. So we've got an administrative staff there. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, so that's all you have to do. There's no phone number we can sort of...
I thought you'd never ask.
Just dig for that, would you?
Yes, the phone number is 352-8258.
Great. So if you're interested in finding out some more information, please don't hesitate to call. These people are really friendly, honest. Thank you very much for being on the show, Bruce.
Thanks, Karen.
Appreciate it. Okay, and we will be right back after this really quick little message.
The staff and volunteers of Shore Cable wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And as we say in my native Czech, Veselé Vánoce a šťastný nový rok.
We are back, and this is sort of the tail end of Capital Times this for the next 2 weeks. I just wanted to remind you that right up until the 22nd of December, there's lots of Christmas shows happening at the Capitol Theatre. So if you want to put yourself even more in a Christmassy mood, come on down and check out what's happening at the Capitol. Again, Oscar Wilde in earnest will be on January 11th at the Capitol Theatre. And if you've not finished your Christmas shopping, you could always pop by and see what we've got to offer. The staff and myself from the Capitol Theatre would like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And pleased to remind you that if you are drinking and partying on New Year's, don't drive. Don't even think about it, or have a designated drive for you. So once again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's to all of you from all of us at the Capitol Theatre and Shaw Cable.